Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be explaining how you can finance a car at 18 years old. Now, by the end of this video, you're going to understand everything you need to know about financing a car when you're 18. And I'm going to be sharing some of my best tips on getting financed at a young age. So to start with, here's why it can be harder to finance a car at 18. You have a lack of credit history. Most young people at 18 have not had the opportunity to build up a long credit history. This makes it difficult for lenders to assess their credit worthiness and risk of defaulting on a loan. Lenders use credit history to gauge how likely you are to pay back a loan on time. So if you don't have one, it can be difficult to get approved for a car loan. There's also higher interest rates. Young drivers are statistically more likely to be involved in accidents than older drivers. This means that they would typically have to pay higher insurance rates, which can make it more difficult for you to afford a car. Insurance rates are based on a number of factors, including your age, driving record, and the type of car you drive. Young drivers are seen as high-risk drivers, so they typically pay higher insurance rates. Lower income. Many young people at 18 are still in school or just starting out in their careers. This means that they may not have a high income, which can make it difficult to afford the monthly repayments on a car loan. Car loans can have a significant impact on your monthly budget, so it's important to make sure that you can afford the repayments before you take out a loan. And finally, lack of experience. Young people may not have a lot of experience with car buying or finance, and this can make them more vulnerable to scams or predatory lending practices, so it's important to do your research and understand the terms of any car loan agreement before you sign it. So here are my tips for financing a car at 18. You first want to shop around and compare offers from different lenders. There are many lenders that specialise in car finance for young drivers, so it's important to compare offers from different lenders before you choose one. You can use a car finance comparison website to compare offers from different lenders. You can get pre-approved for car finance before you start shopping for a car. This will give you an idea of how much you can afford to borrow and what interest rate you are likely to be offered. You can get pre-approved for car finance online, over the phone, or in person at a bank or lender. You should be flexible with your choice of car. If you're open to buying different makes and models of cars, you will have more options to choose from and you may be able to find a better deal. Finally, you could consider getting a guarantor. A guarantor is someone who agrees to repay the loan if you are unable to do so. If you have a guarantor, you may be able to get better interest rate and terms on your car finance agreement. So what should you consider when choosing a car finance deal? To start with, the interest rate. This is the percentage of the loan amount that you will pay in interest. Also, the repayment term. This is the length of time that you'll have to repay the loan. You should also consider the deposit, because this is the amount of money that you'll need to pay up front when you buy the car. And finally, monthly payments, because this is the amount of money that you'll need to pay each month to repay the loan. Everyone's financial situation is different, so you should take all these points into consideration. So why is it important to have good credit? Your credit score is a major factor that lenders will consider when deciding whether or whether not to approve you for car finance. If you have good credit, you'll be more likely to be approved for a loan and you'll be able to get a lower interest rate. You'll need good credit when getting a car finance at 18 because lenders use your credit score to assess your risk of defaulting on the loan. A good credit score shows lenders that you have a history of paying your bills on time and that you are a responsible borrower. Young drivers, especially those at 18, are generally seen as higher risk borrowers because they have less credit history and less experience managing their finances. This is why it's more important to have good credit if you want to have a car finance at 18. With good credit, you're more likely to be approved for a car loan and you'll likely be offered a lower interest rate. This will save you money on the monthly repayments and the overall cost of the loan. If you have bad credit, you may still be able to get car finance, but you're likely to be offered a higher interest rate and less favourable terms. This is because the lender will be taking on more risk by lending you money. So what are some alternatives to car finance? Saving up and buying a car outright. This is the most financially sound option as you will not have to pay any interest on a loan. However, it can take a long time to save up for a car, especially if you want to buy a new or expensive car. You could buy a used car. Used cars are typically much cheaper than new cars and you can still find a good deal on a used car that's in good condition. You could lease a car. Leasing a car involves renting a car for a fixed period of time, typically 2 to 4 years, and at the end of the lease term you have the option to return the car to the dealer, buy it outright or lease another car. Leasing can be a good option if you want to drive a new car every few years, but it's important to understand the terms and lease agreement before you sign it. You could use public transportation. Public transportation can be a good option if you live in an area with good public transportation options. It can be much cheaper to take public transportation than to own and operate a car. And finally, you can also carpool or rideshare. And this basically involves sharing a vehicle with other people, and it could be a good way to save money on gas and parking. So in conclusion, financing a car at 18 can be more challenging than it is for older people, but it is still possible. If you're considering financing a car at 18, there are a few things you can do to improve your chances of getting approved for a loan and getting a good interest rate. You could get a co-signer with good credit, you can put down a larger deposit, you can choose a shorter repayment term, and you could also consider buying a used car. If you have bad credit, there are still things you can do to get car finance, but you may need to put down a larger deposit or pay a higher interest rate. You may also want to consider working with a specialist lender who caters to people with bad credit. So that's been my video explaining how you can finance a car at 18. Hopefully now that you've watched this video, you understand everything you need to know about financing a car, and you should be able to work out whether it is a good decision for you. But obviously you have to think about the risks, because if you were to get car finance and then find that you're not able to pay it back, it will have a massive impact on your life, as it will make lending in the future a lot harder. So that's how you can finance a car at 18. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please comment down below to say this video helped you out, and like and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching.